Hi, welcome to day 14, Finding Golden Resources. So today I've opened it up on this page here. I was deciding just to be a little bit random today. There was already this beautiful colour, which had actually come from a time when I did some gelatine printing. That was a really amazing thing. I suppose today I was thinking about trying new things, and gelatine printing was a really new thing at the time. And it's about that learning by mistake, really. I don't know if anybody has ever done any gelatine printing, but it's something that you cannot control. And there's something really refreshing in our world around that. And it takes quite a bit of courage to be okay with that as well. So that's it, little tiny bit there. I'm sorry, the colours are a bit bleak today. It's a very bleak and rainy day here in New Zealand. So I was just going to stick some things on today. The topic for today is finding some golden resources. And I just literally went through a magazine. I do like to have magazines that have got not too glossy, some of those organic kind of magazines are very, very nice. And just picking out anything that sort of just caught my eye, like from a design perspective or a colour perspective. So I'm just adding them in. I quite like this one here. It's like a pearl of wisdom. A golden resource could be classed as a pearl, and earlier in the year, I read that wonderful book, The Seven Sisters. Oh my goodness, couldn't put them down. And one of the pieces of the story was based in Australia and was around the pearl industry there. So anyway, yeah, so wisdom for me can be a golden resource. I also like design features. So this image here has got a bit of a design feature. I really quite like those things, weaving and what have you. And then there's also, I do like patterns as well. So, of course, your golden resources will be your own. And I suppose in a way this is a very simple process, and it's only a little tiny book. But sometimes it's later. Like we'll find things out in the magazine, just from our, what we spot and what we like. But it's later on when we come back and we think, gee, those things have been coming up again and again and again. So there is a thing that happens, a magical coincidence. And I'm just seeing this little picture here has a very comfortable looking bed. And I must admit, I do take a lot of refuge in my lovely bedroom. And it is a little bit of that colour, so a bit of magical coincidence there happening. And I do like to make sure that the place where I sleep is very, very comfortable and relaxed. It's kind of important to me. This piece here, I really like the texture and the patterning, and it's actually from a book about Venice. I did visit Venice many years ago, and they do have the lace industry there, and it was, kind of fascinating, if I'm honest. Actually, I went twice to Venice, so I was a bit lucky, really. So I might just represent those 2 times that I visited Venice by splitting that in part. I kind of want to recognise, good food in a way. I'm very, very lucky here in New Zealand. We have access to, good, fresh, clean water and good food. So I just want to recognise that as well. And I also want to just acknowledge that this is just a word I found, but often I do feel guided, and I feel very lucky about that. Sort of guided by if there's something it's got a little bit of light around it. I feel a bit lucky. If I ask a question and I see a bit of light around something, that's often on. If it's nothing too big and major, it's quite good to go with where the light is. So acting as a bit of a guide. I also like that idea of going with the 3. When you hear something 3 times, it's kind of, oh, this might be actually for you. And this isn't a very interesting thing here too. Travel ephemera finds its place in time. Travel ephemera. What a beautiful idea. So when I did a little bit of traveling when I was a lot younger, I did have a travel journal and I used to keep all the little bits and pieces. So maybe that's what they're talking about. Now I do have a quote here for today, for this session, and it's a quote by Charles Darwin. And here it goes. So it is a bit puritanical, I suppose, poor old Charles. But here we go. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. So there we go. That gives us all a little bit of hope, really, because learning how to be with change is something that we can learn, as opposed to having to be the strongest or the cleverest. Those things are sometimes a little bit outside what we can decide upon, but actually having the ability to adapt to change is something that we can learn to do. So there's hope for us all. And I suppose, well, how does that fit with golden resources? I think, our resources are things that we already have around us and can access and to make good use of. So, and everybody's resources will be somewhat different. So do have a look around and see, what are your golden resources? What have you already naturally got? Before we go searching for new things, it's always good to recognise what's already there. And then, as Charles Darwin said, it's not the fittest and the strongest, or even the cleverest that sometimes survive. It's the ones that can adapt to change. So I think adapting to change can be quite easy when we recognise what we already have, what resources we already have, what strengths we already possess and own. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope this finds you all well and good and that you're enjoying the process. You don't have to have a little book like this. You can just literally be working on a piece of paper and just sellotape them all together. It's more the doing that's where the medicine is. So anyway, thank you for your time, and we'll see you another time. Bye.